The Middle East is at a pivotal crossroads, where a spiraling conflict threatens the lives and livelihoods of millions, including countless Indian workers in the Gulf. Iran is engulfed in chaos, with global reports confirming its dire state. America is now on the verge of joining this war, with military bases in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, and Qatar, and a naval presence in Bahrain. US fleets and warships are amassing in the region's waters, signaling an imminent escalation. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll unpack this volatile crisis, its profound risks for Indian workers, and why utmost vigilance is critical in this perilous moment. What will Iran do next? Much like Saddam Hussein during the Gulf War, Iran, unable to confront America's military might directly, may resort to firing Scud missiles indiscriminately at Saudi Arabia or the UAE. Such tactics disrupted the region before, causing widespread fear and economic turmoil. We cannot dismiss this possibility now, as Iran's regime, staring down defeat, is beginning to grasp its desperate situation. In a bid to survive, they may target US allied nations like Saudi Arabia or the UAE. Despite Iran's diplomatic ties with Qatar, where America's largest regional base is located, or Bahrain, home to the US Navy's Central Command, Iran's missiles lack precision. Their claim of striking Mossad headquarters, only to hit a bus station and damage buses, underscores their technological inferiority and erratic capabilities. Iran's potential targets are deeply alarming. They could aim for economic hubs like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, or Saudi Arabia's refineries, oil storage facilities, and vital port cities. Leaked discussions from Iran, reported by global media, suggest these plans are actively under consideration. Israel, intercepting these communications, is exposing Iran's intentions to the world. Data points to possible attacks on airports, economic centers, and critical infrastructure in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. While these nations deploy advanced air defenses, including US-provided Patriot and THAAD systems, no defense is foolproof. A barrage of 20 missiles could see some penetrate, causing significant destruction. Indian workers in these areas must remain on high alert to protect themselves. I urge all Indians in the Middle East to exercise extreme caution. Some in India may sympathize with Iran, swayed by certain narratives or media channels. But this could endanger you in US allied countries. Missiles don't discriminate, as seen in the Gulf War's chaotic strikes that affected civilians indiscriminately. Security in Saudi Arabia and the UAE is robust, but America's involvement is nearly certain, with US forces positioned within a 300-kilometer radius of Iran, covering Saudi Arabia and the UAE. This proximity makes these areas potential flashpoints, heightening the risks for Indian workers living and working there. The threat from Iran's short-range missiles, those under 500 kilometers, is particularly severe. These carry heavier explosive payloads compared to long-range missiles, UmPacks 500, 2,000 kilometers, which expend most of their fuel, leaving less destructive capacity. Short-range missiles could devastate civilian and economic infrastructure, causing widespread disruption. Indian workers must brace for unpredictable developments as this war defies conventional expectations. Iran, a regime that has exaggerated its military prowess for decades, is now crumbling. Many are fleeing Tehran, and Trump's warning to evacuate the city signals a looming, potentially catastrophic offensive. Statements from global leaders suggest this could become one of the most significant conflicts in recent history. In desperation, Iran may emulate Saddam Hussein's tactics, attacking US allies to pressure Israel and America to halt their campaign. They could strike Saudi Arabia, the UAE, or other Gulf states, claiming victories like "we bombed Abu Dhabi" or "we bombed Riyadh" to rally their dwindling supporters. Some Indian YouTube channels spread false narratives like Hamas captured Israel or Hezbollah captured Israel, offering misplaced hope to their audiences. In reality, Iran's regime faces mounting domestic dissent. Pro-government rallies, once drawing massive crowds, now feature sparse attendance. Perhaps a lone elderly man or a woman shouting slogans, as recent videos circulating online reveal. To cling to power, Iran might fire missiles at the UAE, Saudi Arabia, or other US allies, or disrupt oil shipments, which would spike global prices and destabilize markets. Iran's military weakness is glaring. Israel recently downed 2 Iranian aircraft before they could even take off. Unable to engage directly, Iran may target neighboring allied nations, putting Indian workers in harm's way. Saddam's similar strategy failed spectacularly, and Israel and America will not tolerate such provocations now. Any attack on their allies would trigger a swift and severe response, likely escalating the conflict to unprecedented levels. The Gulf's role as a global economic hub hosting millions of Indian expatriates amplifies the stakes of this crisis. Iran's potential attacks could disrupt oil facilities and trade routes, sending shockwaves through India's economy, which relies heavily on Gulf remittances. US bases in Qatar, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia make these countries prime targets for Iran's erratic missile strikes. While advanced defenses like Patriot and THAAD systems are in place, past conflicts, such as the 1991 Gulf War, showed that overwhelming missile barrages can breach even the best defenses. Indian workers in densely populated areas like Dubai or Abu Dhabi, near economic centers, face acute risks. The Gulf War's indiscriminate strikes hit civilian zones, and Iran's desperation could spark similar chaos. The broader geopolitical context underscores the gravity of this moment. The Gulf region is not just an economic lifeline for India, but a strategic chessboard for global powers. Iran's actions threaten not only regional stability, but also India's energy security, as the Gulf supplies a significant portion of India's oil imports. The presence of US military assets, including aircraft carriers in the Arabian Sea and fighter jets stationed across allied nations, signals America's readiness for conflict. Iran's isolation is stark. Its traditional allies, Russia and China, have remained notably silent, likely wary of America's military buildup and Israel's relentless campaign. This leaves Iran with few options but to lash out or surrender. For Indian workers, the risks are deeply personal. Many live in urban centers like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or Riyadh, close to potential targets such as airports or oil facilities. The Gulf War demonstrated how missile attacks, even if imprecise, can sow panic and destruction, with civilian areas inadvertently struck. Iran's technological limitations, as evidenced by their failed Mossad strike, increased the likelihood of reckless, poorly aimed attacks. Trump's warning to evacuate Tehran suggests a major offensive is imminent, and Iran's response could involve regional retaliation, endangering Indian lives. Indian workers must stay informed through reliable sources and follow local authorities' safety guidelines. The human cost of this conflict cannot be overstated. Indian expatriates, who form a significant portion of the Gulf's workforce, contribute billions to India's economy through remittances. Their safety is paramount, yet the unpredictability of Iran's actions poses a unique challenge. The Gulf's infrastructure, its skyscrapers, ports, and oil installations, is both a symbol of prosperity and a potential target. Iran's short-range missiles designed for maximum destruction could disrupt this delicate ecosystem, affecting not only Indian workers but also their families back home who depend on their income. This war will not unfold as anyone expects. A cornered regime, like a drowning man grasping at straws, will act erratically to survive. Iran's provocations, missile strikes on US allies, or disruptions to oil flows cannot be ignored. The danger is real, and Indian workers must remain vigilant. Israel and America's resolve is unwavering, and any attack on their allies will provoke a forceful response, potentially transforming the region's geopolitical landscape. For Indians in the Gulf, caution is not just advisable, it's a matter of survival. Stay safe, stay informed, and follow local advisories, as the coming days will test the resilience of everyone in this volatile region.